Long ago, in the heart of a bustling African village called Kwenu, where the sun painted the earth gold and the baobab trees whispered ancient secrets, lived a wealthy man named Obi. Obi was no ordinary man. He was the richest in all of Kwenu, with houses that sparkled like stars and farms that stretched beyond the horizon. His wealth came from trading gold and rare spices across distant lands, and people called him Obi the Golden because everything he touched seemed to turn to riches. But Obi was not a happy man. His heart was heavy with pride and his eyes saw only wealth. He trusted no one, not even his closest advisors, for he believed only he knew the path to success. Obi's mansion stood tall on the hill, surrounded by walls of stone, but inside, it was cold and empty, save for one person who brought warmth to his home, his maid, Amara. Amara was no ordinary maid. She was young, with eyes that sparkled like the river under moonlight and a smile that could calm even the wildest storm. The village elders said Amara was touched by the spirits, for she often spoke with wisdom far beyond her years. She swept Obi's floors, cooked his meals, and tended his gardens, but her true gift was her heart. She saw the world not with greed but with kindness, and she listened to the whispers of the wind, which carried messages from the ancestors. One day, Obi prepared for a great business meeting. Traders from a faraway city were coming to Kwenu to strike a deal that could make Obi even richer. They promised to exchange a rare gem, the Star of Mumbai, for a portion of Obi's gold. The Star of Mumbai was said to glow with the light of 1,000 suns and hold the power to bring endless fortune. Obi's heart raced at the thought of owning it. "This gem will make me the greatest man in all the land," he boasted, pacing his grand hall. Amara, who was polishing a wooden table nearby, overheard Obi's words. She paused, her broom still in her hand, and looked at him with her deep, knowing eyes. "Master Obi," she said softly, "beware of this deal. The Star of Mumbai is no ordinary gem. The ancestors whisper that it carries a curse for those whose hearts are ruled by greed." Obi laughed, his voice echoing through the hall. "Amara, you are but a maid. What do you know of gems and deals? Stick to your sweeping and leave business to me." He waved her away, his mind already dreaming of the wealth the gem would bring. But Amara did not give up. That night, as the moon hung low over Kwenu, she stood outside Obi's window, her voice carrying a gentle warning. "Master, I beg you, listen to the spirits. The Star of Mumbai will blind you if your heart is not pure. Seek wisdom before wealth." Obi, annoyed, leaned out his window and snapped, "Enough, Amara. I will not hear tales from a servant. Go to bed." Amara bowed her head and walked away, but her heart was heavy. She knew Obi was walking a dangerous path. The next morning, the traders arrived in Kwenu. They were tall men dressed in robes of silk, their voices smooth as honey. They carried a wooden box carved with strange symbols, and inside it, nestled on a bed of velvet, was the Star of Mumbai. The gem glowed with a light so bright it seemed to dance, and Obi's eyes widened with desire. "Name your price," he said, his voice trembling with excitement. The leader of the traders, a man named Kofi, smiled slyly. "Half your gold, Obi the Golden, and the star is yours." Obi hesitated. Half his gold was a fortune, enough to feed the entire village for years. But the gem's glow clouded his mind and he nodded. "It is a deal." As the traders prepared the papers to seal the agreement, Amara appeared at the door of the meeting hall. She carried a tray of water and fruit as was her duty, but her eyes were fixed on Obi. "Master," she said, her voice steady but urgent, "before you sign, walk with me to the river. The ancestors have a message for you." The traders laughed and Kofi sneered, "A maid giving advice to a great man? Obi, send her away." Obi's face burned with embarrassment. "Amara, you test my patience. Leave now, or you will no longer work in my house." Amara's eyes filled with sadness, but she did not argue. She placed the tray on the table and whispered, "The river waits for you, master." Then she left the hall, her footsteps soft as a breeze. Obi signed the papers, and the traders handed him the Star of Mumbai. Its light filled the room, and Obi felt a surge of power in his hands. "I am unstoppable now," he declared, holding the gem high. The traders smiled, packed their bags with Obi's gold, and left Kwenu before the sun set. That night, Obi could not sleep. The Star of Mumbai sat on his bedside table, its glow casting strange shadows on the walls. As he stared at it, the shadows seemed to move, forming shapes of faces, old, wise faces with eyes that pierced his soul. A chill ran through him, and he remembered Amara's words, "The river waits for you." Unable to ignore the unease in his heart, Obi rose from his bed, slipped on his sandals and walked to the river that ran through Kwenu. The moon was full and its light danced on the water's surface. As Obi stood by the riverbank, a soft breeze carried a voice, not Amara's but something older, deeper, like the hum of the earth itself. "Obi, son of Kwenu," the voice said, "you have chased wealth, but you have lost wisdom. The star of Mumbai is not what it seems. Look into the water and see the truth." Obi knelt by the river and peered into its depths. The water rippled and an image appeared, a vision of Kwenu in ruins. The farms were barren, the houses crumbled, and the people wept. In the center of the village stood Obi, holding the star of Mumbai, but his face was twisted with greed, and his hands were empty of kindness. The gem's light burned brighter, but it consumed everything around him, leaving only ash. Obi gasped and stumbled back. "What is this?" he cried. "Is this my future?" The voice answered, "The star of Mumbai feeds on greed. It gives power to those who seek only for themselves, but it takes everything in return. You have given half your gold, but the gem demands more: your heart, your home, your people. Only wisdom can break its curse." Obi's heart pounded. He thought of Amara's warnings, her gentle voice urging him to listen. He realized now that she had not spoken as a maid but as a messenger of the ancestors. Shame washed over him, for he had dismissed her wisdom because of her station. Determined to undo his mistake, Obi ran back to his mansion, clutching the star of Mumbai. He called for Amara and she appeared, her face calm but her eyes searching. "Amara," Obi said, his voice shaking, "I was wrong. The river showed me the truth. This gem is a curse. What must I do?" Amara smiled, her warmth like the sun breaking through clouds. "Master Obi, the ancestors have spoken to you because your heart is not yet lost. To break the curse, you must return the star of Mumbai to its rightful place, the cave of spirits, deep in the forest. But you cannot go alone. You must trust others, for the journey is perilous, and only a pure heart can enter the cave." Obi nodded, his pride crumbling like dry earth. "Will you come with me, Amara? I need your wisdom." Amara agreed, and together they prepared for the journey. Obi chose 2 others to join them: Kwenu, a farmer known for his courage, and Nia, a healer whose songs could soothe any pain. The 4 set out at dawn, the star of Mumbai wrapped in a cloth to dim its dangerous glow. The forest was thick and alive with sounds, birds calling, leaves rustling, and unseen creatures watching. As they walked, Amara led the way, her steps sure as if guided by an invisible hand. Kwenu carried a spear to protect them from wild beasts, and Nia sang softly, her voice keeping their spirits high. On the 2nd day they reached a narrow bridge over a raging river. The bridge was old, its ropes frayed, and it swayed in the wind. Obi hesitated, fear gripping his heart. "We cannot cross this," he said. "It will break." Amara placed a hand on his shoulder. "Master Obi, the ancestors test your trust. Cross with us and we will hold you steady." Kwenu went first, his strong steps steadying the bridge. Nia followed, her song calming the wind. Amara took Obi's hand and together they crossed, the ropes creaking but holding firm. On the other side, Obi breathed a sigh of relief. "I could not have done this alone," he admitted. As they ventured deeper into the forest, they faced more challenges. A leopard with eyes like fire stalked them, but Kwenu's courage drove it away. A storm unleashed its fury, but Nia's songs kept them warm. Through it all, Amara's wisdom guided them, her words like a lantern in the dark. At last, they reached the Cave of Spirits, a great hollow in the earth surrounded by ancient stones carved with symbols. The air was heavy with power, and Obi felt the star of Mumbai grow warm in his hands. "This is the place," Amara said. "But only you can enter, Obi. Your heart must be pure." Obi took a deep breath and stepped into the cave. Inside, the darkness was alive with whispers, and the walls glowed with the light of countless stars. At the center was a stone altar, and Obi knew what he must do. He placed the star of Mumbai on the altar, and as he did, the gem's light faded, becoming soft and gentle. The whispers grew silent, and a voice spoke, clear and kind. "Obi, you have learned the truth. Wealth without wisdom is a curse, but a heart that trusts and gives is a treasure. Return to Kwenu and share your riches with your people. The ancestors are pleased." Obi emerged from the cave, his face no longer heavy with pride but light with understanding. He thanked Amara, Kwenu, and Nia, calling them not servants or villagers but friends. Together they returned to Kwenu, where Obi opened his storehouses and shared his gold with the village. He built schools, healed the sick, and fed the hungry, and Kwenu blossomed like never before. Amara, though still a maid in name, became Obi's most trusted advisor. The villagers spoke of her as the wise one, and her name was sung in stories around the fire. Obi never forgot the lesson of the Star of Mumbai, and he lived the rest of his days not as Obi the Golden, but as Obi the Kind, a man whose heart was richer than all the gems in the world. And so, the tale of Obi and the wise maid is told in Kwenu to this day, a reminder that true wealth lies not in what you hold, but in what you share, and that the humblest voice may carry the greatest wisdom.